The Battle of New York. Also known as The Incident, it's the first major battle in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and it took place in the 2012 Avengers movie. This iconic confrontation not only marks the first time the Avengers have assembled as a team, but it also introduced the MCU's larger cosmic stakes, as they defend Earth against an alien invasion orchestrated by the god of mischief himself, Loki. He was empowered by the alien Chitauri army with the Tesseract in his possession, as he seeks to subjugate Earth to prove his dominance. The conflict begins when Loki actually uses the Tesseract to open a portal over New York City, unleashing hordes of Chitauri soldiers and their Leviathans into the streets. The invasion causes widespread destruction and panic, turning Manhattan into a literal battlefield. The Avengers, which include the original 6 members, Iron Man, Captain America, Thor, Hulk, Black Widow and Hawkeye, overcome their internal differences and unite to repel the invaders. Each Avenger plays a critical role during the battle, as Iron Man engages the Chitauri in aerial combat, Captain America leads the ground forces and organizes civilian evacuation, Thor wields his lightning to destroy enemy forces, and the Hulk smashes through Leviathans as he always does. Also, Black Widow and Hawkeye provide critical tactical support, with Black Widow ultimately closing the portal by using Loki's stolen scepter. The battle concludes with a dramatic sacrifice as Iron Man resurrects a nuclear missile launched by the World Security Council into the Chitauri mothership, destroying it and deactivating the alien army. Loki is defeated and captured, and the Tesseract is secured by Thor, who takes it back to Asgard. While the Avengers did emerge victorious and led to the establishment of the Avengers as Earth's primary defenders, the battle has lasting consequences. It inspired S.H.I.E.L.D. to investigate greater cosmic threats, which sets the stage for Thanos' quest for the Infinity Stones, and the battle also sparks resentment among civilians and governments, as seen in later MCU events, due to the destruction and loss of life caused by the battle. The Asgard-Jotunheim War. It's a historical conflict in the MCU depicted through flashbacks in the first Thor movie. This war took place centuries before the events of the film and was fought between the Asgardians led by King Odin and the Frost Giants of Jotunheim, led by King Loki. The war began when the Frost Giants attempted to conquer the 9 realms using the Casket of Ancient Winters, a powerful artifact capable of freezing entire worlds. Their campaign was halted when the Asgardians intervened to protect Midgard, aka Earth, and the other realms from destruction. The war culminated in a fierce battle on Earth, specifically in Tonsberg, Norway, which was frozen by the Frost Giants' powers. Odin led the Asgardian forces to victory, defeating Loki and reclaiming the Casket of Ancient Winters. The Asgardians took the artifact back to Asgard, neutralizing the Frost Giants' greatest weapon and effectively ending their bid for domination. And to maintain peace, Odin negotiated a truce with Loki, leaving Jotunheim in ruins but allowing the Frost Giants to retain their realm. This uneasy peace marked the end of the war, though it left underlying tensions between the two races. The Asgard-Jotunheim War is significant to the MCU as it sets the stage for Thor's journey and the events of the first Thor movie. Loki's discovery of his true heritage as a Frost Giant and his feelings of being an outsider are rooted in the aftermath of this conflict. The war also highlights Odin's dual nature as both a warrior and a peacekeeper, demonstrating his efforts to balance Asgard's dominance with a sense of justice. Additionally, the war reveals the long-standing grudges that led to later conflicts, including Loki's betrayal and the Frost Giants' attempted invasion of Asgard during the events of Thor. And this historical conflict underscores the deep-seated animosities and alliances that define the political dynamics of the 9 realms. The Battle of Sokovia. Depicted in the second Avengers movie, Avengers: Age of Ultron, it's a massive and high-stakes conflict between the Avengers and Ultron. The battle takes place in the fictional Eastern European country of Sokovia, where Ultron implements his apocalyptic plan to use the city as a weapon of mass destruction. His plan is to lift Novigrad, the capital city of Sokovia, into the sky with a repurposed vibranium core and advanced anti-gravity technology, and then drop it like a meteor, triggering a global extinction event. Fortunately, the Avengers arrive in Sokovia to stop Ultron's plan. They are joined by new allies, Wanda Maximoff aka the Scarlet Witch and Pietro Maximoff aka Quicksilver, who switch sides after realizing Ultron's true intentions. The team's first priority is evacuating Sokovia's civilians, while also working to deactivate the vibranium core that powers Ultron's device. And the conflict becomes increasingly chaotic as Ultron deploys his army of robotic drones to protect the city and ensure his plan's success. Vision, newly created from Ultron's attempt to build a perfect body for himself, would later join the battle as a critical ally. The fight reaches its climax when Ultron himself confronts the Avengers, but he is ultimately outmaneuvered and defeated by their combined efforts. And in a tragic moment, Pietro sacrifices himself to save Hawkeye and a child from gunfire, further motivating the Avengers to succeed. The battle ends when Thor and Iron Man work together to overload the vibranium core, destroying the city before it can impact the Earth. However, the cost is immense. Sokovia is completely annihilated, resulting in massive destruction and loss of life, and this event has far-reaching consequences in the MCU, including the implementation of the Sokovia Accords, which place the government oversight on the Avengers. The Battle of Sokovia is a defining moment for the Avengers, testing their unity and highlighting the immense responsibility and collateral damage that come with their heroism. The Civil War. Depicted in Captain America Civil War, it's a pivotal ideological and physical conflict that divides the Avengers. The war stems from the introduction of the Sokovia Accords that I mentioned in the previous section, a set of international regulations proposed after the catastrophic events in Sokovia, and the collateral damage caused by the Avengers' missions. With these accords, the UN now determines when and where the Avengers can act. So the team splits over the issue. Tony Stark supports the Accords, believing accountability is necessary after his past mistakes, while Steve Rogers opposes them, fearing government control could compromise their ability to do what is right. Tensions escalate when the Accords are said to be ratified at a conference in Vienna, which is bombed, killing King T'Chaka of Wakanda. Bucky Barnes, aka the Winter Soldier, is framed for the attack, prompting T'Chaka's son T'Challa, aka the Black Panther, to vow revenge. Steve defends Bucky, believing in his innocence, and goes rogue to protect him, and this act places him at odds with Tony and the pro-Accords faction. The conflict becomes a full-blown battle when the two sides, led by Tony and Steve, clash over how to handle the situation, with a memorable battle at the Leipzig Hall airport showcasing each team member's abilities. The Civil War's emotional climax comes when Tony learns that Bucky, while brainwashed, killed his parents, a fact Steve had kept from him. This revelation shatters their trust, leading to a brutal final fight between Tony, Steve, and Bucky. Though Steve and Bucky escaped, the Avengers are left fractured. The Civil War has left the Avengers divided during critical moments like the Infinity War and shaping the dynamics between its key players, especially Tony and Steve. So unlike the previous wars, this was not just a battle of fists, but a clash of values, which showcased the complexity of heroism in a modern, politically charged world. The Kree-Skrull War. It's a long-standing intergalactic conflict in the MCU, explored first in Captain Marvel and referenced in other films and series like Secret Invasion. The war is fought between the militaristic Kree Empire and the Skrulls, a shape-shifting alien race. The Kree portray the Skrulls as dangerous terrorists, but the truth reveals that they are largely a displaced people seeking refuge after being persecuted and nearly wiped out by the Kree. This war, spanning decades and multiple galaxies, serves as a backdrop for Carol Danvers' transformation into Captain Marvel. The film Captain Marvel reveals that the Kree have been using Earth as a battleground in their war, and Carol Danvers, originally a human pilot named Verse, is brainwashed by the Kree after an accident involving the explosion of a lightspeed engine powered by the Tesseract. The explosion imbues her with immense energy-based powers, making her a valuable weapon for the Kree. And as a Kree soldier, she is trained by young Rogue and fights alongside Starforce, believing in the Kree's cause. However, during her mission to Earth, Carol learns the truth about the Kree's oppressive role in the war, and the Skrulls' plight when she encounters Talos, the Skrull leader. The turning point comes when Carol regains her memories and realizes she had been manipulated by the Kree. So she obviously sided with the Skrulls, helping them escape Kree persecution and find a safe haven. In a climatic battle, Carol confronts the Kree forces, including young Rogue and Ronan the Accuser, and by the end of the film, she rejects the Kree's control and embarks on a mission to aid the Skrulls and bring peace to the galaxy. The Kree-Skrull War shed light on the complexity of intergalactic politics, and it also sets the stage for future cosmic conflicts and highlights Captain Marvel's pivotal role as a protector of the universe. The Multiversal War, referenced in the Disney Plus series Loki, is a cosmic conflict involving countless timelines vying for dominance. And according to the TVA and He Who Remains, the war began when alternate universes discovered each other and sought to expand their influence across the multiverse. The conflict escalated as variants of He Who Remains battled for supremacy, leading to chaos, destruction, and instability on a multiversal scale. And at the height of the war, He Who Remains emerged as a victor, using Elliot, a powerful trans-temporal entity capable of consuming entire timelines. He subdued rival universes and brought the conflict to an end. And to prevent another war, he established the Sacred Timeline, a single controlled sequence of events that eliminated the possibility of alternate timelines branching out. The TVA was created to enforce this order, pruning any divergent timelines and preventing the rise of new versions of He Who Remains, especially Kang the Conqueror, who is one of the most dangerous variants. The multiversal war is reunited after Sylvie, a Loki variant, kills He Who Remains at the end of Loki Season 1, and with his death the sacred timeline begins to branch uncontrollably, allowing alternate timelines and realities to flourish once again. And this sets the stage for upcoming multiversal conflicts, with variants like Kang poised to seize control of the multiverse. So the Council of Kangs were forced to contend with Kang the Conqueror, who was still seeking to start a new war. And with the connection to the sacred timeline reestablished following He Who Remains' death, the Council ultimately decided to banish Kang the Conqueror to the Quantum Realm to stop him, which leads to the events of Ant-Man Quantumania. The Infinity War. Depicted in Avengers Infinity War, it's a galaxy-spanning conflict orchestrated by Thanos in his quest to collect all 6 Infinity Stones and achieve his ultimate goal: eliminate half of all life in the universe. Thanos believes this act of mass genocide is necessary to restore balance and prevent overpopulation, which he sees as the root of suffering. The war begins as Thanos and his Black Order attack various locations across the cosmos to obtain the stones, battling Earth's and the galaxy's greatest heroes along the way. The conflict unfolds on multiple fronts. Thanos begins by decimating the Asgardians' refugee ship, killing Loki and many others to claim the Space Stone from the Tesseract. He then sends his Black Order to Earth and attacks Doctor Strange in New York to retrieve the Time Stone, stored in the Eye of Agamotto. Meanwhile, Thor, Rocket and Groot travel to Nidavellir to forge Stormbreaker, a new weapon cause Thor's hammers was destroyed by Hela. On Earth, Vision becomes a key target as the Mind Stone is embedded in his forehead, and the Avengers, now divided after the Sokovia Accord, struggle to unite. The climatic battles take place on 2 major fronts. In Wakanda, the Avengers and their allies clash with Thanos' forces, attempting to protect Vision and the Mind Stone. At the same time, on Titan, a separate group of heroes devises a plan to remove the gauntlet from Thanos but are ultimately defeated due to Star-Lord's emotional reaction upon learning of Gamora's death. By the end, Thanos achieves his goal, acquiring the final Infinity Stone by killing Vision and ripping the Mind Stone from his head, and with all 6 stones in the gauntlet, he snaps his finger, enacting the snap, which instantly erases half of all life in the universe. The Infinity War ends on an unprecedented note, with the Avengers facing their greatest failure yet. Heroes such as Spider-Man, Black Panther, Doctor Strange and many others were vanishing to dust, leaving survivors grappling with grief and hopelessness. The events set the stage for Avengers Endgame, where the remaining heroes embark on a desperate mission to undo the devastating consequences of Thanos' actions. The Infinity War is one of the most impactful conflicts in the MCU, reshaping the universe and demonstrating the devastating consequences of heroism when faced with a seemingly invincible adversary. The Battle of Earth, shown in Avengers Endgame, is the climatic conflict of the Infinity Saga. It takes place after the Avengers successfully execute the Time Heist, retrieving the 6 Infinity Stones from various points in the past to reverse Thanos' devastating snap. However, their actions inadvertently alert an alternate version of Thanos, who travels to their present timeline with his army. This battle, fought on the grounds of the Avengers compound, pits Earth's mightiest heroes and their allies against Thanos and his forces in a struggle to determine the fate of the universe. The battle begins with a smaller, intense confrontation between Iron Man, Captain America and Thor, who face Thanos directly. The trio fights valiantly, but Thanos is the GOAT, he ain't going down easily. Captain America then delivers one of the most memorable moments in the MCU by wielding Mjolnir, proving his worthiness. But despite their combined strength, Thanos gains the upper hand and calls his massive army, which includes the Black Order, the Outriders and Chitauri forces, to finish the fight. Then the portal scene happened. Portals opened by Doctor Strange and other sorcerers bring reinforcements, which include every hero resurrected by the Hulk snap along with their allies. The Avengers, the Guardians of the Galaxy, the Wakandan armies, sorcerers, Asgardians, and others unite in an epic showdown against Thanos' forces. Spider-Man reunited with Tony Stark after 5 years, Scarlet Witch confronts Thanos to avenge Vision, which led to the "I don't know who you are" meme. The tide turns decisively when Captain Marvel arrives, devastating Thanos' army. However, Thanos still manages to reclaim the gauntlet, nearly snapping his fingers again. And the battle concludes with Iron Man making the ultimate sacrifice. In a final act of heroism, Tony Stark uses his own nanotech suit to wield the Infinity Stones and snap his fingers, erasing Thanos and his army from existence. However, the immense power of the stones fatally wounds Tony, and he dies surrounded by his closest allies. So the victory did save the universe, but comes at a great personal cost. The Battle of Earth is not only a spectacle of heroism and teamwork, but also a culmination of the Avengers' journey, and a key point in pop culture as a whole, marking the end of an era in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.